A reading from the 1 Samuel chapter 5 verses 1 to 12. When the Philistines captured the ark of God, they brought it from Abnezer to Ashdod. And the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it into the house of Dagon and placed it before Dagon. When the people of Ashdod rose early the next day, behold, Dagon had fallen onto his face to the ground before the ark of God. So they took Dagon and put him back in his place. But when they rose early on the next morning, Dagon had fallen onto his face to the ground before the ark of God, and the head of the Dagon and both his hands were laying cut off upon the threshold. Only the trunk of the Dagon was left to him. This is why the priests of Dagon and all those who enter the house of Dagon do not step on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod to this day. The hand of the Lord was heavy upon the people of Ashdod, and he terrified and struck them with tumors, both in Ashdod and its territory. And when the inhabitants of Ashdod saw how things were, they said, "The ark of the God of Israel must not remain with us, for his hand is heavy on us and our lord Dagon." So they sent and gathered together all the lords of Philistine and said, "What shall we do with the ark of God of Israel?" The inhabitants of Gath replied, "Let the ark of God be moved on to us." So they moved the ark of God of Israel to Gath. But after they had brought it to Gath, the hand of the Lord was against the city, causing a very great panic. He struck the inhabitants of the city, both young and old, so that tumors broke out on them. So they sent the ark of God of Israel to Akron. But when the ark of God came to Akron, the people of Akron cried out, "Why have they brought around to us the ark of God of Israel, to kill us and our people?" They sent therefore and gathered together all the lords of Philistine and said, "Send away the ark of God of Israel and let it remain to its own people." For there was a deadly panic throughout the whole city. The hand of the God was very heavy there, and those who did not die were stricken with tumors, and cry of the city went up to heaven. The word of the Lord.